Brooks. And Brooks is a retired teacher. He substitute teaches still sometimes. He is active out in the community, but most importantly, he has been the most incredible, dependable, loyal volunteer. And as we all know, in any organization, when you want to have somebody sign up to do something, you hope they will follow through. And he has this wonderful work ethic about, I am dedicated to getting this done. And so, for example, he does our farmers market and he chairs that area, gets it all set up. And then he also has been public advocacy. He writes great editorials or comments for the Turlock Journal, as well as the Bee, celebrating the things that we do. He has worked at all of the book sales that we used to have. He now works twice a week at our bookstore and is very active there, even though he has been around for many years, and oh gosh, almost 12, 13 years. He still is as committed, and that's why we chose to honor him as just an awesome volunteer of the Friends of the Library.
Our volunteer, it's Holly Barrera. So Holly has been a volunteer with us for at least 6 or 7 years. She is a really valuable and versatile volunteer. She knows how to do a lot of things. Usually when she comes in, she'll pull a hold list. She'll pull the expired hold. We have a collection of books that need to be cleaned, and she'll go through and clean the covers on those. She has been really good at recovering books, and we find that oftentimes, especially with the children's books, they still look pretty good on the inside. And so she recovers, puts new plastic on them, and it makes them look like new books. So she's really helped us extend the life of a lot of our collection. She's just super reliable. She comes regularly. We can always count on her. There have been times when we have been kind of low on volunteers, and Holly has said, I normally come on Tuesday mornings, but if you need help during the children's crafts, I'd be happy to do that too. Do you need me to come more times? So she's somebody who has been a really valuable part of the Ceres Library. We're just so grateful to have her at the library volunteering. There are times when I don't know what we would do without her.
We then also formed a group called the 2020 fundraising campaign, and headed by Jeannie and John Ferrari. And the reason was to help supplement all the great things we have in that library. So when one visits there, you will now see things that upgraded furniture, great lighting, increased on signage. We also added all the equipment in the makerspace room. We made sure that in the community room, we would have such things as the kitchenette and all of the different kinds of tables that are easy to move around and very accessible. We did patio furniture and out in the beautiful little patio. And then in the children's room, we added all kinds of little furniture so they could have their little kitchenette, they could have a little climbing area, they could have more books. That was part of what this committee was able to do. It's composed of 10 people from the city of Turlock that Jeannie and John Ferrari gathered up. We met about once a month, and the goal was to raise at least $1 million, and we were able to get 1.3. And so with those monies, which is done in the form of pledges, which we receive then every year so much towards the person's pledge, it made us then able to really have a sustainable library for at least the next 7 to 10 years, where those monies will be able to do such things as we had one donor who wanted it to be for programs. And so that money is designated specifically and only for to do programs for children. We're bringing in authors for adults. It is a real, and it's called Library Presents. So it's a present to the library, and therefore the library presents with an exclamation point. So it's a very exciting, but that's what these donors were able to do. We had over 150 donors. Their names are all on our donor wall in the library. It was an amazing accomplishment done within 1 year by this group that, you can never underestimate the power of a committed group, and this certainly was. And so we celebrate them. It's made our library go from a good library to a great library, and we're very happy.
Over the past 20 years, LearningQuest has grown from a small organization of only 3 employees to its current size, a $2.5 million organization with over 30 employees. LearningQuest's relationship with the library began in 1996 when Karen Williams proposed a partnership that would provide literacy skills using the library as a base of operations. Using matching funds, the program that resulted was called Reading Works and was launched in 2001. The strength of the partnership between LearningQuest and the library put us in a position so that we would receive maximum funding from the state. In fact, our program is the largest in the state due to the strength of that partnership. With the literacy rates being so high in Stanislaus County, it was recognized that if we can catch children early to improve their reading and writing skills, then that will contribute to an overall improvement in literacy in the county. In 2019, another of Karen Williams's dreams was accomplished with the inception of KidsQuest, a program to help children with dyslexia improve their reading and writing skills. LearningQuest provides a continuum of educational services from basic literacy to a high school diploma. Now about 1,000 adults a year are educated and begin to realize their dreams for themselves and their families.
Colleen was the most gracious person. She could not say no. So whenever she was asked to do something for the Friends or the election, she always said yes. It wasn't long before she was elected to an office. She was the secretary, and then she became president, and eventually she took on at the end there, before she passed away, she was not only our vice president again, but she was the acting secretary too.
I met Colleen and Bob before all of this with Bridge, and then literacy, and then the library. And they're we're all just very involved with all of it. And I consider both of them very good friends. I miss Colleen very much. Mm-hmm. The thing that comes to my head when I think of them is both of them standing totally exhausted in front of a pile of books that were taller than a human being, ready in boxes, ready to go to hospice. And all of us had worked 3 days and to raise money for Friends. And there they were, at the last with those darn boxes. But I appreciate so much what they've contributed to the library and to our friendship.
I met Colleen at Women's Club, and we were doing, I don't know what that occasion was that we were.
Oh, it was like Love Oakdale or something like that. Yeah.
And so Colleen and I were sitting at a table, and Sharon was right here. And pushing the Friends of the Library, and we were pushing the Oakdale Women's Club. So Sharon said, well, you should come. So I blame Colleen for that. I just have to say, I don't know. I really didn't want to go to Women's Club anymore because she's not there anymore. It doesn't feel the same. I kind of feel like that about this too. She made such an impression on me. She was such a huge personality that there's a giant hole left behind in her passing, but there was nothing that she and Bob wouldn't do. If somebody else didn't want to do it, they ended up stuck with it, and especially Bob. Poor Bob. I loved her very much. She was a really.
They were really instrumental, with the last few book sales that we did. And that's a year-round process. People would bring books and drop them off here at the library. And there's not enough storage here at the library. So Bob and Colleen would periodically come down here, pack up all the books that had been brought to us, and take them out to our storage facility. And then when it came time for the book sale, with publicity, we had these banners and it had to be put up around town. And then he and his helpers, Ed helped, I know, the last time around too, but they would put these banners up around town and make sure that Bob was kind of the liaison with Jilton's, who was giving us space to store our books.
Colleen just twisted my arm a little bit.
But you kept coming back.
Yeah. Well, she needed a help. I mean, I did all hard. The lifting. That's all I did, really.
Colleen just wrote me the most thoughtful thing I think I've ever gotten. Shoot, I miss her.
Yeah, I called her my sidekick because we were in this together. We would mull things over together, and so yeah, she was a great sidekick.
And Bob's sidekick too.
She was very thorough. Whatever she did, she did it to 100%.
Absolutely. Right. Well, because they deserved it. I felt they deserved the Shining Star Award, and then of course it turned into them being given the Joan Patterson Stellar Achievement Award. They've been involved with the Friends for over 10 years, and like I said before, they were just always so willing, so gracious, and making this project and this organization a success. They deserve the recognition.